Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. I had another request for another rant from Michael AJ Norris, and Michael asked me to comment on the WWE. Apparently has booked a venue in Lakeland, Florida, an 8,000 seat venue, as reported by the Wrestling Observer. That WWE, I think it was July 24th and 27th for Raw and SmackDown tapings. Now, apparently that venue was booked before this Renee Young and a few other behind-the-scenes people at WWE have leaked that they had, in fact, gotten coronavirus, COVID-19, Renee Young, and I believe it was Adam Pearce, if I have that right, who was a former NWA champion and now a backstage guy at WWE, if I have that correct. Now, obviously, for those of you that have been watching, I did have a video about 3 years ago, the Renee Young problem, and most of what I said came to fruition, by the way, just as most of what I said in another one of my videos about CM Punk came to fruition, namely that it was a big non-issue that CM Punk came back. So if you look back at the Mike Messier videos, a lot of my prophecies are coming true. So I hate to say I told you so, but I did. Now, what do I feel about this Renee Young? Obviously, all bullshit aside, hoping that she gets healthy, hoping that her family, John Moxley, her husband, her parents, if they're still with us, which I think they are, and I don't think they have kids, but in any event, hopefully Renee and her family are all going to get through this. And Adam Pearce gets through it, and the other, I think there was a female backstage, was it Kyla something? Hoping for the best of all those infected. Now, the WWE, with all the other things going on in the world, the WWE has been escaping worldwide scrutiny for having their tapings, their Raws and their SmackDowns and their NXT shows and even pay-per-views out of this performance center with these plastic, I don't know if the plastic kind of hockey-esque barricades, were those helpful or hurtful in spreading this coronavirus, or helping to prevent or hurting to prevent spread? I don't know. But people are very concerned right now, and apparently a lot of the WWE talents, as reported by the Meltzers, the Alvarezes, and so forth, are upset because they feel that their lives have been endangered, their health has been endangered, and now on top of all that heaping pile of dog shit, the WWE wants to do live shows with fans. And that's what Michael AJ Norris was telling me, or reporting to me, that the WWE wants to do this 8,000 seat venue, and no word if there was going to be social distancing, if they were only going to sell a quarter of the seats, or and let's face facts, the WWE wasn't selling many tickets before this whole thing broke down. You had social distancing in the audience before COVID-19 for the last couple of years of WWE, because they weren't selling tickets, because nobody wanted to see them, because the fans are sick of the McMahons pushing themselves. So the chickens have come home to roost, folks. Look, I take no, well, maybe I'm lying. Maybe I do take a morbid pleasure in seeing the current WWE and the current pro wrestling universe, so to speak, take a gut check on itself. And, to all these women and men who came out with these horrible, god-awful stories about these perverts and these deviants and these weirdos in the pro wrestling industry that were pressuring them and touching them and fondling them and groping, all these disgusting stories. On top of that, coronavirus. I made a flippant comment the other day on one of these Facebook groups. Maybe professional wrestling should take a pause. Maybe the wrestling business should push the pause button, clean up its act, and see what the fuck happens. But as a pro wrestling fan, it's getting harder and harder and harder and harder to justify tuning in to watching WWE especially, but any wrestling, knowing what the hell's going on. The AEW, look, I'll be an equal opportunity critic. AEW suspended Sammy Guevara, or Guevaro, Guevara for comments, horrible comments that he said about Sasha Banks 4 years ago. Of course, the guy that was running the podcast was a real piece of work, kept that podcast to himself until just the right moment to release the clip. Real great guy there. Blackmailing one of his former guests, real piece of class act. Didn't say anything at the goddamn time, but when he feels an opportunity to blackmail somebody or to ruin someone's life or agitate someone, he did. Now Sammy is no saint. Obviously a bro comment, obviously a stupid locker room comment. Who do you think you are, the President of the United States, Sammy? I mean, come on. But the point of the matter is this, folks. Sammy was suspended without pay. Well, how come AEW is hiring Mike Tyson? Folks, love him or hate him, and I know you guys, a lot of guys love Mike Tyson. They get very defensive when you criticize Mike Tyson. Oh, he served his time, he was set up, blah, blah, blah. Mike Tyson, convicted rapist. If you look, just Google search Mike Tyson rap sheet, and you'll see a whole lot of crimes and misdemeanors and grievances that Mike Tyson has suffered through or put upon himself. One of his trainers famously reported that Mike Tyson once said the hardest punch he ever threw was against Robin Givens, his wife at the time. So, folks, the point of the matter is this. I'm looking out for you. I'm looking out for the pro wrestling industry. I'm trying to save this thing from itself while these deviants and these weirdos and these freaks sully my ring, sully my sport, sully the king of sports, professional wrestling. I'm the only one looking out for you. I'm the only one that's been speaking on these videos since 2017. I'm the one who said if you support the WWE or NXT, you support Donald Trump. I'm the one who railed against Joey Ryan, thumb in the ass spots, super kicks to 9-year-olds, Kenny Omega wrestling plastic dolls. I'm the one who made all these comments public, who absorbed all your fucking comments and bullshit, all you fucks in the Facebook groups, the wrestling promoters who had an issue with me because I had an issue with Joey Ryan's dick flip. I've been proven morally and ethically correct. You've been proven in the wrong, and I expect some goddamned apologies. I expect some written apologies. I expect some contrivances. I expect some people to come to the Church of Mike Messier and confess your fucking sins against me. That's what I expect. So, pro wrestling fucks, it's up to you if you want to continue to watch this god-awful crap. If you want to put a pause, if you want to watch old wrestling tapes, I suggest it. But whatever the fuck you do, visit www.mikemessier.com, assholes.